In one of the last videos I made, I mentioned the music in Half-Life 2. I was listening to it, and one of the songs I referred to, I called, I think, Song 31 or something like that. HL2 Song 31. And yeah, I double checked it, and Red Faction 2, the song I was thinking of, it's actually called Song 01 or something. I already forgot the title of it. But, mentioning that, something else I wanted to say on that was that I will refer to it on that. I don't actually know if there's like kind of real names or whatever for those songs. I think there are, or a lot of games will have that, but I remember the song titles as basically the file name. Because when I listen to music from video games, usually I just, it's like sometimes the GOG version will come with the music in a separate folder. Or in the case of Half-Life 2, what I did was, I just extract the, uh, you know, music files from the VPK. And, I thought I had already done that in the past, but maybe I hadn't. I couldn't find it, so I just did it again to listen to it like I've been doing the last couple days. And yeah, that's why I end up calling it that. Like Song 31 or whatever it is. Maybe there's an official title for it. But I thought of that because, looking at shit on YouTube, one of the things that recommended me was this hour-long loop of one of the songs in Half-Life 2, but it had a particular title to it, but they had a description next to it in parentheses on the video title. It's like, oh, it's the music that plays on the bridge part. Like you disable the force field to be able to drive past or whatever, where the train goes across, on the coast maps. And it made me think about how, like, I usually remember the file names, but I also have the Painkiller music, and the file names for those are pretty much just, the names of the levels they're in. And as I mentioned, because of the Romanian elevator stuff, I started making, kind of like staircase elevator thing, but for whatever reason, I was thinking of Painkiller, and specifically the military base bit. And I was going to recreate that. I still haven't got around to that part yet, but the staircase map, I added the ambient generic that was looping the military base music. But yeah, like I really wish, I really miss old school FPS and this and that, and just how good games used to be. And a big part of that is just the music of them. Like you really don't get good music anymore. Like even like ambient or atmospheric tracks. Like nothing will top shit like Stalker Shadow Chernobyl, Half-Life 2, Splinter Cell Chaos Theory, this and that. But yeah, that HL2 Song 31, the piano reminded me of Red Faction 2's song. I think it's literally called Song 01. I think that's the one. But if you look it up, you'll find it pretty easily. Probably if you just put in, Red Faction 2, piano music or OST or whatever. But it's the one that starts with like do 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 do. Right. I don't know. I'm kind of monotone. Maybe it doesn't pick up correct, but it just sounds so cool. But it's those really low pitched piano notes, and just the sound of the piano. It just sounds so fucking cool. But a lot of these games, a huge part of them was the music. Like Painkiller has some of the most amazing music of all time. It's actually a big part of why I taught myself music theory, which I used to use programs to make music before I actually learned how to play guitar. But God, that fucking game had such an amazing soundtrack. That kind of just instrumental metal kind of soundtrack. And the one used for military base is one of the best in the game. but they're all really fucking good. But sort of further putting that together with the nostalgia of gold source games like CS Beta that I've been mentioning a lot recently, something that made me think about is the days of old YouTube, right, like 2006 era, or like Newgrounds Flash animations back in the day, or like Flash animations on somethingawful.com. Which that's another thing. Planet Half-Life. Remember when the Planet whatever sites used to exist? Planet Half-Life, Planet Soldier of Fortune, whatever. You can find them on YouTube now. Actually, you can't find the original files, I don't think. But look up like Planet Half-Life, Half-Life 2 delay of a game. There's like 3 separate ones, and Kevin, Fragmaster Bowen from Something Awful does the voice. Does a lot of the voices in them, and they're fucking hilarious. I wish I could watch those for the first time again. Like I said, I was hyped for, Half-Life 2 forever. I was all over playing Half-Life. Oh, and speaking of that, I actually had a picture, like a screenshot I had took in CS 1.5 that actually got featured as, pick of the day on Planet Half-Life one time, or Planet Counter-Strike. Like, I actually had them make my image, like, pick of the day one time, back in 2003. I thought that was so awesome. I think I had 1 or 2 like that on Planet Doom, for, like, Doom 3 or, like, whatever. But, a big part of that, and you can still see remnants of this in, like, the early zero punctuation on, Escapist, Ben Yahtzee Croshaw. It made me think about a lot of those Newgrounds animations or like old YouTube videos, and especially the old like Counter-Strike kill montages and shit like that. It's like the fucking Cali, or what is it, like, whatever. They had like the CPL, or it was like amateur or professionals or whatever the fuck it was. But they would have their little like, kill montages or whatever. There was these flash animations that I originally saw on Newgrounds back in the day, but they're from a site called Superjer. It's sort of like a lot of the albino black sheep videos or flashes people originally saw in like E-Bombs World and shit like that. If you go look up Superjer, God, what was the actual name of it? I always remember the McDiddy's part of that. He's like, "Welcome to McDiddy's. What do you want?" But like shit like that. But like, I think like Superjer, Counter-Strike, McDonald's, and you'll see what I mean. This is something I always remember, and is like stands out to me as like a remnant of like old internet, old video game, kind of time frame when shit used to be good. And it was before the copyright, intellectual property, pseudo law bullshit, content ID shit had kind of just fucked up everything. And what you'll notice is a lot of those old school flash animations would have, whatever music was popular at the time. Like in that Counter-Strike McDonald's, one of the songs, it's set up like, a cartoon version of playing the game. But at one point they're driving in a car, and it's playing that one song that was popular back then. Something about your body go bump, 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 or some bullshit like that. If you watch it, you'll know exactly what I meant when you hear it. But there was something else like that with the kill montages, or whatever the fuck they called them. I'm blanking on. For like Counter-Strike, that used to be popular years and years ago, that a lot of them I watched like off of like Putfile or different sites at the time, when YouTube essentially didn't exist yet. But they would always have, their personal favorite music, or like a lot of old YouTube channels. Of course it'd be made in Windows Movie Maker. But like on the title card or on the outro or whatever, it would be, this video was made by Elite Weed Smokers 69 or fucking whatever. And it would be their favorite song playing, right? Or like Let the Bodies Hit the Floor was on so much bullshit back in the day. And that's just something you don't see anymore. But that's why. Because YouTube, the corporate terrorism shit, like they don't have enough money yet. Just, everything gets further sterilized. Motherfuckers even bleep curse words in their YouTube videos now. It's like, holy fuck, dude. I will never do that. Except maybe for comedic value. But it really goes to show that intellectual property bullshit actually stifles creativity. It doesn't protect creative works. It just destroys creativity itself. But that's always been the issue of, the human social collusion of the corporatostatist depravity. And it's like, once normal fags got a hold of the internet, that's why everything sucks now. Games don't try anything new. They don't have any real, feeling put into them. It's lowest common denominator shit to try to make as much money as possible. And then you don't even get interesting YouTube videos anymore because all the style, all of the uniqueness of the videos is just gone, right? Like, I probably hate their favorite fucking song, but just the idea that, like, there was a point when YouTube was literally YouTube. It's like, hey, these are my videos. These videos are me. I'm putting what I care about in them, right? When YouTube was actually really a kind of like more of a true vlog type of website, you know, more and more, like I said, stop updating games. Valve wants to George Lucas everything, and their little fucking, you know, iterative updates, rolling releases, whatever, makes it almost impossible to keep track of anything. Someday there's builds of the game that'll just be gone forever. The internet, most of the shit I remember from the past, like I literally have links to it that are just dead links because I've backed up my bookmarks for over a decade now. Oh, it's on there forever once it's there. No, it isn't. Almost nothing sticks around. And that's what's going to happen. If it hasn't already happened yet, because I haven't checked in forever, someday Newgrounds won't exist anymore. Someday Wayback won't exist anymore. And then YouTube more and more every day is nuking, videos or old channels or, locking them with their age restriction or, location based. Oh, this corporation won't let you listen to it because you're in the wrong country type of bullshit. That someday every single one of those videos will be gone. And then you won't even be able to fondly remember old internet. Because every remnant of it just won't exist anymore. But yeah, I miss shit like that. I miss the old, Flash animations, Newgrounds era type of shit. Dude, a lot of the Flash animations were literally like a particular song that somebody made a Flash animation to go with it. And it would just loop or whatever. One of the first death metal songs I ever heard was an Iniquity song. I think it was called, I don't even remember. I'll put in the description if I find it. Death metal growls or whatever the fuck it was. But it was a Flash animation that you sing along, so to speak. But it just, the subtitles just like grr, grr, whatever. It's kind of like a joke video. But they credited Iniquity with that. So I found Iniquity through that. And a lot of that early death metal I found through that kind of video. And I'd be listening, to all these bands that were new to me that I had discovered through shit like that while playing all these amazing games. And I don't know. It's like nostalgia is dead. You just can't have anything anymore. But whatever. I try to enjoy it to what extent I can. And yeah, I'm probably going to play 10 episodes Emergence real soon.